So there you are. That is Butcher's Rusk. Hi everybody, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today, Butcher's Rusk. Why should we make Butcher's Rusk for sausages? Because it contains no fats, no sugars, no nothing. And when you make it, it is a fantastic water absorber. So making your sausages nice and moist. Okay, it's straightforward. In here, I'm going to make a kilo of Butcher's Rusk. So that is a 1 kilo bag of flour, and that is 100 grams. You're going to say, well, why are you making a kilo and it's kilo 100 grams? Because it's going to evaporate in the oven, the fluid, and we should end up with roughly a kilo. So I have salt and baking powder, and we're going to give that a good mix through in there so it's fully incorporated. Water in there. Now make sure your oven is on at 200 degrees for the start of this. This is a 2-part cook. This is the first part. Bring that in. Okay, get your hands in and give it a kneading, bring all that dry flour in there. Now it only takes a couple of minutes to do this. So that's it basically. That's your Butcher's Rusk formed up, and what we need to do is put it on a tray. Now there's some parchment paper, and what we're going to do is bob that on there, and we're going to give it a little flattening out. Now what they say is it should be about 1.5 centimeters thick. What I say is, it doesn't matter. It's going to be baked and twice baked. So it doesn't matter at all. So there you go, that will do for me. Now take your tray and bob it on your tray. Give it a little squidge out on there. There we go. Stick it in the oven. Bake that in the oven for about 35 minutes till it goes golden, and then it comes out and goes completely cold. Okay, when you've had about 35 minutes on there, that comes out. On there. Okay, quite hard on top. All we got to do is let it go completely cold. Let it go completely cold, and then we'll get on to the next stage. So just leave it. Right, we've got our rusk to be cooled down. We got the oven on at 100 degrees. Now this is going to bake in the oven for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Now what we need to do is break this up into chunks. So it doesn't matter how you do it, but you need to break it up. What happens is it dries out in there, and then we blend it. Blend it in a food processor or anything like that, and that's how you get your rusk. So if we just put it into blocks now, it's just easier to blend up when it dries out. You know, you can just pick up the block. There's no point trying to pick up a whole slab of this stuff. So there you go, that is our rusk to be. It's as easy as that. Nothing complicated. Whack it in the oven and you leave it in there for about an hour and a half. Okay, we've done our time. Let's get that out of there. Oh, look at that. On there. There we are. Dried out butcher's rusk. Let that cool completely, and then we're going to give it a blend. It wants blending up. Best thing is a food processor, anything like that. Whiz it to pieces, and then we can store this. So there you are. That is butcher's rusk. So let it cool, and then we'll blend it. Okay. It's absolutely hammering it down outside, but you can see why we've cut these up. They just go in there. Now you need to go as fine as you like. Obviously they're going to absorb water, fluid, everything when you make into sausages. So it's up to you how fine you want to go. For me, that's about got it. Well, that's good enough, that. That's a good rusk on there in a bowl. Okay, back on there. Okay, and when you've blended all your rusk, what I do then is I tip it back out and let it air dry, because what's happened is the blender has warmed it all up again. Now I'm just going to let it air dry, and then it goes in bags, because this is quite warm. It goes in bags, and I put little silicone gel things in to keep the moisture out. Now you can buy these silicone gel bags very, very, very cheap online for hundreds of the things. And what I do is I'll portion this up into bags and dump a couple of those in with the bag, because they actually keep the moisture under control, and then this will stay completely dry, ready for use. So we just air dry that for an hour or two, and just give it a little turn over like that. No hassle at all. Right, so all we're going to do is put that in a bag. Ziploc bag. We want to keep it airtight, so we're going to do that. In it goes. And you can portion it up what size you want, to be honest. It don't really matter. Making a mess everywhere as usual. Right, and then I take a couple of these and you just bob them in there like that, and that is going to keep the moisture out, just like that. And that's our rusk. That's our butcher's rusk, ready for our sausages. As easy as that. Alright, let's get these bagged up. So there you are, that's very straightforward. That's our butcher's rusk. I've got a few more to do, and then we just store it away. It stores away, not a problem. The silicone bags are going to draw out the moisture, make sure there's no moisture in there, and we just use it as and when. So there you go, that's how to make butcher's rusk. Easy as that. If you like what we're doing, don't forget, share with your friends. Anybody who wants to make sausage can make their own butcher's rusk. If you do like what you're doing, big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. Catch you in the next video.